Hello Scrappy fans, and welcome back to my channel for yet again another process video. Today I have a traditional 12 by 12 layout, and this layout went into the March Scrap the Boys challenge, which was all about dirt and our boys getting dirty. So I have picked two pictures here that you would have just briefly seen then of my son. One was only taken sort of the beginning of December last year when we had the sprinkler running outside and he just goes nuts. And the other was taken a few years back, riding through muddy puddles. We took him bike riding, and at first he flipped out and then turned into a bit of a mud monster. So yeah, so I have just grabbed this 12 by 12 piece of paper and cut it, as you can see, into strips. I am using that bright green as a backing for, or background for my paper. Now, and this paper is actually fairly old in my stash. I think I got it, I don't know how long ago, probably a good 6 or more years ago even, potentially when I first started scrapping, but it's a boys one. It's got, you know, stuff about being dirt and, you know, outdoor mud and blah blah blah, and blues and oranges and all those sorts of things that you can see on it. That's very sort of typical boys sort of stuff. And yeah, so here I am just placing my photos and where I want everything to go. I didn't exactly have a pre-plan. I jumped at or changed the idea of having the strips and the, originally I was just going to use that paper backed onto, I think, the green. And then I changed my mind and decided that I would do it in strips, just to add something a little bit different. So now just working on the first picture and layering it, and playing around. I do fuss around a little bit. On this layout, I took that out for you so you didn't have to painfully watch that, as to what I was going to put where, just making sure that there were certain elements of those strips of paper I didn't want covered up, just because I think it added a little bit to that, to the whole theme of being dirty, mud, you know, all that sort of cool stuff. So yeah, so I'm just going through and yeah, picking out some other sort of boyish like papers. They actually are boy. I can't remember whether or not, I think these are from My Mind's Eye, and I couldn't tell you where I got them from, but I'm pretty certain I actually got it like many years ago. So yeah, whether or not this was given to me as a present or what, I don't know, I can't remember, but I'm pretty certain these are called these are from My Mind's Eye, and they're a Boy Crazy, I think it's called, collection. Back when I first started scrapbooking, I didn't actually go with the whole, I didn't know much about anything really in regards to collections and bits and pieces. It was just, oh, that suits what I'm doing, and back then it was really scrapping just my son, so it was all boys, and that was always really hard to find. I think I've said that before, so yeah, always snuggled it up. Now I was just sort of roughing up the edges a little bit, again to give that rough boy look to things, and I just used my scissors. I know there's a distress tool you can get. I don't have one of those, so I just used the scissors to rough it up a little bit, and you know, yeah, so, and I ripped the paper as well just to give that, yeah, rough edge look. Sorry, I'm actually doing this process video late, voiceover late in the afternoon before anyone else gets home, but my, well, nearly 4-year-old is home with me, so she's watching TV just in the room next to me, so you might hear her every now and again. Alright, so I decided to commit to where everything's going to be laid out on my page, and I just, as you can see, start sticking. Again, this is another layout. I've not done a layout like this before, where I've cut the strips of 12 by 12 up and all those sorts of things. I know I sound probably pretty boring, don't I? So this was a bit of an experiment, and again, I'm still not 100% on that I get the gist of the whole layering thing. So yeah, I just was going with it, so it did take me a little bit, and I sort of got to the point where I was like, right, I need to decide what I'm doing and just roll with it. So yeah, that's what I'm doing, as you can see here. So yeah, just as you can see, not much too much to explain, just yeah, layering up my photos. I put them, this one's on, that's a bit of fun foam you can see there, or whatever, that I'm sticking the tape onto, just to pop the pictures out a little bit. There's not, this one in particular is not a whole heap of colour, I don't think, like sort of bright elements to the photo, so I am just popping it up just to stick it out a little bit off the background. just to sort of say, hey, it's me, Mr. Mud Monster here. The story behind this photo is actually really quite funny. Whilst it looks like he's actually enjoying himself in this photo, he really wasn't. We were sort of encouraging him. He used to be, he was, you know, and then we were quite into getting dirty and messy and all that fun stuff. But then all of a sudden on this day, he just didn't want to. And where we were, the bike path we were on, there was a mud pit, pool of mud at the end of the thing. And we kept saying to him, go on, go through, it's cool, you know, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, once he got going, it was okay. But then I think he fell or something, and he's covered in mud in this picture. And I took a photo, and whilst absolutely cracking up laughing. But he wasn't particularly happy. I was telling him this the other day when I did this layout, and he was like, am I going to put that on YouTube? No, of course not. Here it is. All good. So just up to the second photo, and I just again did the whole rip with the ruler trick, and it didn't quite go according to plan. So just ripping a little bit more of the edges around, just roughing them up a little bit. Just trying to not to look too clean cut. Again, the whole theme for this challenge was dirt, and you know, so I just, you know, boys, dirt, rough, blah blah blah. So I'm just sort of going with that theme just to tie it all in with my papers and stuff. So I just popped that layer originally. Yeah, as you can see, I slide it up underneath that little grid piece that I've put strip, and I'm just sticking that down now. Can't tell you why I decided to do that, to be honest. It just was going with it. I did have a fuss around. You can see some of the backgrounds, this dark background here with the orange, it's an orange little dot sort of thing on it. And I did think about using that as just like a 12 by 12 piece. And originally, as I said, the layout was going to be matted onto the back, like onto the green cardstock. But then I changed my mind. I didn't want a dark background too much for these. Yeah, I just wanted to add those pieces in a little bit if I could, as opposed to having a whole dark layout. So again, I put this photo on some foam again, just to give it some dimension and pop it up out of the page. Okay, so not much happening. How's everyone else doing? Are we enjoying the regular uploads of some videos? I am trying to kind of have a bit of a pattern happening. I have a few videos edited and waiting to be voice-overed, and then just going through and uploading them. So what are we, the 22nd, Wednesday the 22nd of March here. So I think I uploaded one this morning. This one will be, you should have this one up, you should be able to see this one on Friday. And then I'm sort of trying to go every second day from there, if I can. And I'm trying to do a bit of a a mix of videos between, you know, this like this 12 by 12 traditional, pocket page, Project Life ones, and like a mixed media ones and things like that. So yeah, I'm just rolling with it. Now that cut apart piece that you saw then that I'm playing with now has come from a Kaiser Craft sheet that I got actually not so long ago. I bought not so long ago. I think this piece says boys will be boys. Yeah, it does. Boys will be boys. So I just moved it around, made it look a bit more like a tag than a sort of cut apart piece. And then I'm going to use this stamp here, which is a Heidi Swap stamp. It came in one of my Kitaholic kits. To just put some stamping across this section of the page here. You can see me playing around. This might have been the first time I've used these stamps actually. Don't know. I did do this layout a week or so ago. Just saying. I think that says my boy is...
Mummy, excuse me, can I have something to eat?
In a minute.
I can get something.
What do you want?
Chippy?
Anyway, sorry. As I said, late afternoon. So I think I've got my boys unique, and I stamped those. And then I think I've got you are special, maybe beautiful, one or the other. Not sure. Anyway, you'll see it in a minute anyway. So I do go with the shadowy kind of effect by stamping again after the main sort of stamp. I don't know if you can see that here actually. You might be able to see it probably in the close-ups. Just liked the dimension it gave, really. No real theory to it. I learnt the whole, you've got your thick black, and then when it fades out, the stamp fades out as you use it along. I actually quite like that look for most things. Don't know why. Just me, really. And I'm just using my black Stays On ink here, guys, too, just so in case you were wondering. To put on the, I like the Stays On ink. I think it just gives, I don't know, a bit more clear cut sort of print or image. I don't know. I have other inks, but yeah, I just like that one. I always reach for that one more than anything else now. I do only have it in black, so when I try and use colour, I've got to use something else. So anyway. Oh, so I tried to add this to it as well, this twine, this blue twine. You've probably seen me use it a couple of times, that and the pink one on a few layouts now. It's my new thing to do. I think I fuss around, not this piece, because this looks like I'm committing to it being here with the glue there. But I think there's another bit I try and play around coming up. I try and fuss around with it a little bit. Still trying to learn how to stick it down without sticking to my fingers. And just using my Tombow wet glue there to stick it all down. Oh dear, how much glue do I put on here? My God. Should have probably cut this out maybe. Anyway, it's there now. So is there anyone else? What's your scrapping experience? Let's have a bit of a combo here while we're waiting for me to finish fussing around. But you can see what I'm doing here. This is where I first start to play around with the twine as to adding some more to the page. Thought about doing up and down. I was sort of thinking that there was too much like spare space. I can't remember what that term is. That negative space we call that. And then decide that it just looked a bit ridiculous going lengthways. So just add a little bit more up the top there, as you can see. Fill my glue, stick it on. But yeah, so what's everyone's scrapping experience? Mine is started off traditional 12x12 scrapbooking back when my son was 3. He's now 10. My girlfriend got me into it, actually. She was into it, and I don't even know how I got onto it, but she started my craze with it. I think dropped out of it for a little while. And then the same girlfriend got me into Project Life a few years back. That'd be probably about 3 years ago, I'd say, just before my little one was born. I was looking for a hobby, I think, while I was pregnant. Tried the sewing, didn't work, so yeah. Anyway, and wanted to do the memory keeping thing. Yeah, so I now do a mix of everything and have just touched base with the whole mixed media stuff and still playing around, as you'll probably guess through my videos. But yeah, all my albums that I do have a mix now of, yeah, traditional like this, or a bit of 12x12 mixed media, or some pocket page, this, that and the other. And last year was the first time I did a December daily, so it didn't go too bad actually. So yeah. Now I'm just adding some embellishments, as you can see here. Now these are all from a variety of packs, so I can't tell you exactly where, because I can't remember. But all these ephemera pieces come from different things. The cloud and the little, I ice creamy stick thing down the bottom are the same pack. I think some are possibly a Kaiser Craft collectibles. Some of those other little darker coloured blue ones like that from the off the wall collectibles I have. So they're a sort of boy one. Yeah, and just some other bits and pieces I have popping around the place, tucked away in my stash. Although I think these arrows actually come from the Wild at Heart ephemera pack, I think, which I'm totally in love with, the Wild at Heart pack collection. And these little hearts are chipboard hearts from Studio Calico. The rest I'm not 100% sure of, sorry. Yeah, so my title is just what I stamped there. My boy is unique, you are unique. And I just leave it as that. And then, yeah, as you can see, I'm just wrapping up some of the embellishing on the page. I don't think it's a too difficult spread. It was pretty easy once I got going. As I think most people, once the creativeness is flowing, you're good. But yeah, so I just went with it and I really enjoyed how it turned out. I think it, you know, sticks to the theme of dirt quite well. Did take me a bit to find a photo that I wanted to work. I really wanted the mud monster one down the bottom, and it was funny because I couldn't find it in amongst my photos, couldn't remember exactly when it was, and then in my Facebook feed, God love Facebook, it come up, and I was like, yes, so I downloaded it to my phone and printed it off on my photo printer. So I was like, score, yeah. Just popping some journaling up there. Do cut that out on you, and I use some of these little rhinestone pieces, black and I think the clear sort of ones, yeah, just to pop a bit of bling around the page, just to add a bit of something else, something sparkly to it. Forgot a piece, oops. So just start adding some, I always think sometimes that I'm finished and then I go back and I go, nah, even sometimes after I finish filming and I go back to it and I go, nah, I needed to add something to it, so I add something else. I'm a bit indecisive by nature. But yeah, coming towards the end of the this video now, just adding some blue sequins. I don't have the layout in front of me, so I can't actually see. I need to remember to pick the layout out before doing a voiceover, it makes it easier. Yeah, just again adding some of these blue sequins to the layout just to give it a bit of sparkle, I guess. You know, so it's not completely flat, is what I call it. Now what am I doing? Oh, that's right, I inked the edges. Just I just inked it down a little bit with the black Stays On ink. I don't know why, just because the mood takes me. I don't have all the technicality, creativity stuff that some other people do. I think because it was so bright, the dark around the edges just sort of dulled it down a little bit, sort of balanced the layout out. Grounded, that's the word. Yeah, I think that was why I did it. I don't know, it worked. It looks alright. We'll go with it, whatever. But yeah, so now coming up to the end of the video, I do hope you've enjoyed this layout. Sorry it was a bit rambling on at times, just, yeah, it was pretty self-explanatory. As I said, it was a fairly easy layout, really. But yeah, I quite liked it. And here's some close-ups. Give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe as well. That's always nice to get some extra new subscribers. And I will see you next time in my next process video. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later. Bye.